It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And welcome to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, invigorated by the beautiful day at Milberger's. Not a cloud in the sky, cool breeze coming out of the north. It is just wonderful here at Milberger's, and we want you to come on out and be a part of the day. Wander around. There's maybe a little color here, he said sarcastically.
Yeah.
Facetiously. As Trace walks among the cyclamen. Let's see if he hears us.
Well, there's less.
We have, well, there's less after you got through it.
Yeah.
But there's it extended a whole nother section behind me full of cyclamen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, you can tell which are Trace's favorite colors.
Yeah.
Because it's everything is surrounded by the white and the reds.
Yes.
So, but there's
Kevin
no.
and I have talked about this.
There's no lack of the other colors either.
And I would guess
purple is my favorite. The pink.
Yeah. Oh, the purple's your favorite?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the white and the red used to be Calvin and I's favorite, and we moved on to the purple. Although the white and red are fabulous.
Spectacular. Yeah,
you
can't beat cyclamen for.
And I've actually seen them elsewhere around town, and they do not look this good. I know I'm biased. Yeah.
Oh, at the stores. Retails?
No, the Milbergers look, they're perkier, they seem brighter. Yeah, so you owe it to yourself if you like cyclamen, to come on by Milbergers at 1604 and Bulverde Road and check it out. Trace is going to join us. Did you hear us talking about you?
I did. I have no favorite color.
I would imagine your favorite color is the
one that
customer's
sells.
favorite. Yes.
So historically, the odd colors sell really well before Thanksgiving. And then after Thanksgiving, it's mostly red, white, and purple.
Okay. So the pinks will start selling now, and let's see. I was bragging, and I'm sure you've seen them too. You are really biased, but if you see them at other places when you go into other stores, they do not look as nice as Milberger's.
This is correct.
Yeah, Milberger's really works hard to keep them looking good. And pansies, we had some questions about pansies earlier. We've got lots of them. I got a few last week, and they're still looking good.
Oh gosh, yeah.
No, I just mean the minor.
They're kind of the all-stars. Sometimes we don't give them the credit that they deserve. But I've got a situation in the wintertime where it's not shady enough for primulas, but it's not sunny enough for the stocks and snapdragons and everything. So I'm relying on the pansies that are pretty tolerant. They put up with the cold weather, but they also put up with more shade than some of the other plants. What's your experience with the shade tolerance?
When it's cool like this, you could almost plant them in full sun. But what you have to worry about is the nighttime temperature. So to me, as long as the nighttime temperature
Which one are you talking about?
The cyclamen and primrose.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out if what is the... Oh, you're thinking that they can be planted in a...
They can do more sun when it's cool. But instead of losing them in, like, May, you will lose them more like in April.
Oh, gosh, yeah. But, the thing I experienced, too, on cyclamen versus primula, I know Trace and I have this running discussion. We like both.
Y'all go running together?
No. I don't run anymore. Except for my nose. So. My nose still runs.
But when I plant all the primula, there's an adjustment. They adjust to the amount of light there. So in this group that I planted, most of the blooms fell off. Now they're they're putting new blooms on. Whereas in the cyclamen, I don't really experience that. The cyclamen just fit right in and they continue with the blooming cycle that they have. I don't know if that's everybody's same experience or if it makes a difference on the degree of light and shade in there. Now, in the long run, they both work very well. They're spectacular, but they are an interesting. Both of them are interesting plants because of their tolerance for shade, and they're not inexpensive either. So you want to plant them where they can really show off, and you want to plant them where they'll be successful, and that's what we try to do here at Milberger's, and we try to give you the information that you need to do that. It's unbelievable, the colors and the show.
Our number, if you want to call in, is 210-308-8867. He's buying the spinach like you suggested.
I just saw it out my eye.
So I don't know if y'all have noticed, but the hug me tree is no longer a hug me tree.
Oh, people like to hug the tree.
It fell down, not the tree, but and it broke the mechanism. So we might be able to hang it back up, but as of right now, you can hug any tree you want on the property, but there is no hug me tree.
Okay, feel free to hug any tree. These people sign.
They could be here a couple of hours if they want to hug every tree.
They will be here for a while. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe the hug me tree will come back someday. People really did like that. They loved taking those pictures. More so than the comments the tree would make.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, all right, 210-308-8867.
No, I'm just going to leave you hanging.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm not going to save you.
Saw that in your eyes. Yeah, keep digging, Milton. Keep digging. And Al, back at the station, wants me to suggest on his behalf and give him full credit that you need a Thanksgiving train, like the Galloping Gobbler that goes around for the kids and stuff, because he misses the noise too.
Well,
but maybe instead of like, woo-woo, kind of, gobble, 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 gobble. And then what would and they would drive by and go, look, giblets. And everybody, ah!
I was thinking turkeys.
Turkeys,
Look at those turkeys.
That works out better, yeah.
No.
Poor Calvin.
But we did undecorate it, so now it's more festive
be a
for
Christmas train soon. Yes, Calvin, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was just thinking as we go through these seasons and all these holidays, and it's pretty, it's exciting, but it's pretty demanding too. I was thinking of what's next. One of the things that's next is today is going to be the last of the monarch and milkweed programs that we have for this year.
You want me to try to pitch it for you?
Yeah.
How would you like to spend your evening with Dr. Calvin Finch? Well, tonight's the night. Do you like that one? Is that a good place to go?
That's good. That's good.
Amongst the butterflies just amongst the monarch, the milkweed. But yes, Calvin, what's happening? How can they do that?
Well, it's a new location for us and a new sponsor. Mm-hmm. The Gardening Volunteers of South Texas are the co-presenter, and it's going to be held at the Sinkin Eco Centro over there at SAC at the San Antonio College on 108?
Well, no, 1802 Main
North
Avenue. So it's opposite of SAC. It's on the corner of Main and Locust. So
that's right, and right close to San Pedro. Mm-hmm. And so that'll be at 6 p.m., which is a little different. It's in the evening. We've had all the other, for 3 years, we've had all the other programs in the mornings. But it'll be the same in terms of talking a lot about where we are with the monarchs and the migration, and where we are with our gathering information on the milkweeds. That's one of our main tasks, is to work with area gardeners and figure out which are the best, easiest to produce in terms of milkweed and contribute the most to the increasing the monarch breeding ability. And towards that end, of course, we'll have seated containers for the attendees. If you want to pre-register, you can call 210-382-4455. And in a pinch, just stop by, and we should have a seat for you. So that's at 6 p.m. at the Sinkin
Eco Central.
Eco Central. And what was the address again, Mark?
1802 Main
Avenue. What is that? Well, you said it was Main and Locust?
Main and Locust.
Right close to San Pedro, yeah. So, and right across from SAC.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the other side of SAC.
Yeah,
look where it got a big sign. It's a very nice facility. They have very nice chairs, which always is important to me.
Oh.
And nice tables and chairs.
What is that? When you
mud.
get a chance.
Mud.
No, the thing
it's
flying. It's what?
Mud.
No, the bug.
No,
is that
that's
two dragonflies?
That's a pin. No, that's a pair, a mating pair.
Oh
of,
dear.
Yeah.
Of
don't look at. We won't describe it on the radio.
No.
Dragonflies.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay.
But it looked like our favorite. The moth. The hummingbird moth. Yeah.
All right. So you get to give the phone number twice.
210-382.
82. I'm sending it out.
55. And you'll get these are native milkweeds, and you'll get at least one that's germinated and one that's seeded. And we may, I think we mentioned we'll probably have 3 containers for everybody that attends if you're interested.
All right.
So the entrance fee is you have to promise to keep track of everything.
Yep.
It's free, but this is your actual free. You got to keep track of germination and maintenance. What else? Maintenance.
Just reporting transplanting success or lack of success, and then germination of the seeded, but the container that hasn't grown yet. So it's important information.
All right.
And important information for the future of monarchs. And there's a lot to talk about in terms of monarchs too. Interesting topic, which we've had two of the authors of the books that had monarchs as the main topic, and they were both interesting. And I'll have, of course, we'll have copies there so people can see those, plus other resources too. Lots of pictures of milkweeds.
210-308-8867. If you need the number, Al has it back at the station, the number to register. But our phone number, if you want to come on the air with us, is 210-308-8867. And we got a question. I think I sent this to y'all. I'm not sure. Mike sent it to us last Sunday at 3 o'clock. I've got an oak tree in my front yard that's been looking really bad. Started browning at the leaves, and it's gotten worse. I've attached some pictures, which he did, and I guess his question is, I know we've got some real serious bad drought. I don't believe we've just been
What kind of oak was it?
What did he say?
I don't remember. I don't know if I got this.
Oh, okay.
Because from the description of it, it reminds me of my bur oak right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
bur oak.
Or a lot of.
He doesn't say.
The red oaks.
Mike, you can call us too at 210-308-8867.
And that's so strange, Mark. And I know you brought this up before. Some of the Texas red oaks are losing their leaves already. They look pretty dismal. Others look like they're just the springtime and they're happy with everything that's happening out there. So. A lot of variation, and that's what we expect in the kind of soil we have and the versatility of the recommended varieties of oak trees in our area.
And he also goes on to say, also, some years ago I had killed some foliage that was in the gravel area below the tree with a very light touch of foam Roundup on the leaves of the undergrowth in the gravel. Could that have sunk in and affected the tree and its roots? If so, what would you recommend I do for this tree? Here are the pictures. I'll show Mark real quick.
I was looking. I'll show you right my phone.
Did I send it to you? You remember?
I don't know. You didn't send it.
Okay.
So those are the pictures?
Yeah. Do you see the pictures?
Well, yeah, barely on this one.
The Roundup would make one of the questions would be how large was the tree?
Well, it's a very large tree.
So
it's not in a lawn situation, which is always good. Trees and lawns, they do not like each other. They dislike each other tremendously. It's a little bit here. And what did he say? I was on my phone looking for these pictures.
What did he say? What
was the last thing he said? I also did this with dirt.
He applied Roundup.
There you go.
Several years. Was it several years ago?
Yeah, to the gravel in the area of the tree. Okay, so that's not it.
No, I'm saying that's a no-no.
Oh.
If it's a live oak, and it appears to be a live oak, that any sprouts that are in the gravel, or even adjacent to the gravel, that get the Roundup on it, they will die, and that is translocated to the mother tree.
Oh, I bet this is the gravel. Did you see the gravel?
It was closer in the picture in the foreground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So keep going. I'm sorry.
So that's people do that. They think they're going to kill the sprouts. Well, those sprouts are attached to the mother tree, and the advantage, some people say disadvantage, of the glyphosate is that it's absorbed by the foliage. Any green piece, whether it be stem or leaf, and it will absorb it and translocate it to the roots.
That doesn't mean that it's automatically going to kill the tree, but it never is a positive thing to do for the tree.
There you go.
And that's why I asked the question too. It depends on the age of the tree and the stress situation and the amount.
And the amount,
herbicide. Because if it's just if you just a few sprouts, most of them will survive. But if it's an extensive spray and lots of
or even
suckers,
even the mix, the ratio, whether it's 9%, which is the ready to use, or the recommended, which is 19% that you make your own, that matters as well.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it in the future.
Okay, and now we go back to the tree and say, yes, good thorough soakings 1 to 2 times a month, and depending on rainfall, and hope for the very best.
Okay.
And with especially with live oaks, you do have some hope.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes, I say no other species known to mankind withstands human abuse better than the live oak.
Yeah. And if you'd like to, too, you can email me, Milton at KLUP, and I'll get the question to the guys, and hopefully we can do it on the air. And we'll just give your first name. But, that's Milton at KLUP.com. I'll check my emails, because this one I missed. But you can call us, too. That's more fun. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. We're going to take a break and come back in a moment with more of Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. There must be monarchs here at Milberger's because Lulu, our monarch reporter, is here. Lulu, you want to grab the mic and say hello? And all righty. What you know? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
We're doing just fine. Oh, what you getting? Snapdragons? Is that what that is, or?
The sonnet version.
It's what?
The sonnet version.
Sonnet?
No, it's the ones that you love so much that smell.
Stocks.
Stock.
Oh,
yes.
the stocks. Oh, okay.
Yes.
They didn't
so
quite
good.
look like snaps. It was like...
Yeah, it does. From far away, they do.
Yeah. Thank you, Lulu. Sure they do, Milton. whatever, Jason.
I know. I was with you, Milton. I can go now.
Yeah. Well, how are you doing? You're doing okay?
Yes, doing well. We have a lot of monarchs in the yard still, which is
very
hard
exciting.
to believe.
You do?
Yeah.
Huh.
And they're still battling the queens.
Yeah, we've seen some monarchs, but not like I would expect.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's about 5 or 6 that come through.
Well, that's
but
good.
they're there as soon as I get up and go to school. 7:45, they're there drinking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're
what are the kids dealing with now?
They're just so sad.
right now. Well, we planted a whole bunch of milkweed, and every single week they go and search to see if there are any eggs and little teeny tiny baby caterpillars. No luck yet, but who knows? They might make their way over to us.
Well, yeah, because if they want some queen caterpillars eating my new plants, milkweeds, I'll give them plenty.
Oh, they're always into that. They love watching them.
Gosh, yeah, it's hard too to catch the queens until they're at the end of the last bite. It's kind of like they do it just to show off, chew it real noisily, so then you find them.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. They're so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Do you have any of the Zizodis, milkweeds?
I think I have one.
Are the queens?
I think you got one. Wasn't that the one that was right here?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah. Oh, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. They haven't made it over there. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, because one of the things is one of the major questions is that the Zizodis are, of course, the easiest to get to germinate.
Right.
And they get after 1 year, they've got some size, and they make it through the winter. But the queens have not shown much interest in them. Meanwhile, the queens are eating every other, the showies and antelope horns and everything, greens.
Right.
But so it really is kind of disappointing if you find out that the easiest milkweed to grow is not the favorite of the queens. And then the question is, if the queens don't like it, do the monarchs like it? So that's one of the major questions that we're looking at now. That's why we're continuing to explore with the Zizodi.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, last week, and I think the week before, you were asking about chrysanthemum.
Yeah. You were going to do some research. Yes. Well, we just forced that on you. She never really agreed to it, by the way.
Set it up. Said, why does chrysanthemum and chrysalis have the same?
I said, is there a connection between the two? Is there are they from the same origin?
Yes.
Would you find out they are?
Okay.
Okay.
So the base word chrysalis actually comes from Greek, and the word for that is gold.
Okay.
And a lot of times, at least from what I've read, and actually what I've told my students, is that it's an iridescent and sometimes golden look, and so that's why they gave it that name of gold.
Okay.
Well, then it translated into Latin basically as chrysalis. And they continued with, yes, it's gold. It came from Greek, so it's gold and it has that same iridescence to it. And so for the butterfly chrysalises, that's what they refer to it, versus the cocoons of a moth, because they wrap themselves. The chrysalis.
Okay,
course,
yeah.
Yeah, the little larva will basically shed its skin. Now, with chrysanthemum, it has the same base word, which is chrysalis.
Okay.
And the second, which is gold, and the second part, the anthem, means flower. And so you have a golden flower.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's coherent, isn't she? Sounds like she's a teacher.
Yeah, I know.
It does sound like she's a teacher. So did you know all that?
Shoot, no.
Oh, okay. Way to go, Lulu. All right, we have to give Lulu another challenge.
No.
Now, how did you find all that out? Did you just kind of Google it and run around?
I've known some of it.
Okay.
Because I knew Latin.
Tell them about books and research and things like that.
You mean the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just basic research because he is in the media, so he has to learn these basic.
Well, I have a
research.
ton of old books that have to deal with monarchs and language and base words and all of that.
There is another basic weakness. His degree is with the University of Texas.
Oh, well, I went to UT.
Yeah.
Yes, but my kids went to A&M.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
They couldn't get into UT, huh?
No, they actually did.
Yeah, that's... Oops.
Just the voices. I mean, it was just like, hey.
Oh, we had the big game coming up.
Yeah. That'll be interesting at your house.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Half shirt.
You're a house divided.
Half maroon.
That's funny. Nothing wrong with UT. Great school. Yeah. It's changed a little bit since I was there.
Very much.
Yeah.
Well,
both of them
place.
have.
Yeah.
A&M and University of Texas. Both such huge enrollment and
the city
huge
itself.
Physical structure, yeah.
My grandparents always called Austin sort of a lazy small town, and we had to come in before 2 o'clock. We couldn't go out and go to the grocery store because of all the traffic. There was no traffic. But now, definitely, you don't go out past 2.
It's tough. I mean, if we have listeners in Austin, this shouldn't be offensive. I think you know this. But, if you're driving up to Dallas and you get to that Austin area, be prepared to go slow.
Yeah, we go 281.
Yeah, that's a nice drive, too.
It's pretty.
I say if you're entering Austin, I used to have a rule because I have to go to Temple quite often when I was with the Forest Service, is you have to be through Austin by 6 a.m. or after 9 a.m. and then make sure you're coming through Georgetown by 3.
Yeah, that sounds about
by
right.
3 p.m. So it was like a short order. You had like 4 hours worth of work to do.
Well, that certainly explains Lulu's intelligence, is that she went to the University of Texas, the university. But, so do you grow winter veggies and stuff?
No, I'm just starting to learn how to do that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can help you.
Yeah.
What are you trying to grow?
I don't know.
So, so for beginners, what's your recommended veggie?
Absolute beginners?
Are you absolute beginner? Okay.
Yes.
I mean, she knows what she's doing, but...
lettuces and spinach. Greens.
What about carrots?
Yeah, carrots and radishes.
Oh,
and
broccoli.
Why do we use that? Because that's what we use at the kids' garden, the children's garden.
Right.
It's always carrots and radishes.
Yeah.
Because they're quick, easy, almost... almost always works.
Yeah. Well, and the carrots are so favorite of the kids.
Yeah, the kids too. They can wash them quick and eat them.
So, do you plant them by seed? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's earlier in the.
What do you like to eat?
Everything.
Okay, so broccoli.
Broccoli. Yes.
Okay.
I like broccoli. Love Brussels sprouts.
Oh.
Right. There you go. So those.
You've now won Calvin over.
What about cauliflower?
He's even thinking
Love cauliflower.
Okay, so this time of year, those are the plants that you should transplants you should be using because they're productive and they have multiple crops. So that's why I also like spinach and collards and Swiss chard.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I can see you're a Swiss chard person.
Also, all that winter garden, the greens especially, are so attractive. And even onions and carrots are very, very attractive.
And onions will be coming in shortly.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask.
That'll be fun.
I have a big stew.
Okay, so of the things we mentioned, you're going to get them all, I know, but the one that was like, ooh, which one kind of...
Well, I like all of them, but I love broccoli. I love Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
I love carrots.
All right, so the carrots
Swiss chard.
Have to be by seed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you can get broccoli and Brussels sprouts here. Do we have Brussels sprouts?
Yes, we have them right now.
And spinach?
Okay.
And the spinach, I checked.
Okay.
It's on the corner, although that gentleman who I was helping with before the show, he may have taken a lot. We don't know yet. So it's right on the corner facing us.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so any tips and tricks? Lulu's a fellow Longhorn. Yeah. Sorry, there's so few. There's so few here that I deal with on the weekend besides poor Trace and I. Well, there's Trace and I, and then we just,
Maybe here.
No, that's what I meant here.
It's like 45,000
on the weekend.
Year.
Yes, I know that
Is
part.
everybody else an Aggie?
Well, I'm a Michigan Aggie.
Okay.
A lot of them.
So let's
I get a lot of universities. I guess.
Let's focus because you guys get off on this university kick and it just drags us. And you just so what tips do we give Lulu for Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and Swiss chard?
Well, one of the neat things about those are they're easy to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Full sun.
I've grown broccoli.
Give them plenty of space. The pests are, of course, you got some of the caterpillars.
Yeah, cabbages, all the cabbage loopers.
Yeah. But the good news
does everything.
News is you can use BT and target those cabbage loopers, and they usually doesn't affect any of the other butterflies or moths.
We take the children down to the garden, the neighborhood garden, and they had all of this cabbage, and their favorite thing to do is turn over the leaves and just keep pulling off all of these huge. And then some of them wanted to keep them as pets. I'm like, no, don't keep those as pets.
Well, I can't imagine them doing that. You do the same thing with the monarchs.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, they've seen cabbage loopers, but, I mean, everything was being eaten. So...
Well, to answer your question, Milton,
yes.
And Calvin already answered it.
Good.
Preferably raised bed, full sun. A little bit of compost goes a long way. Actually, on the beds, we like a lot more compost. We're like 1 inch to 2 inches of compost tilled in.
And all those greens are high nitrogen users.
Yeah.
So, almost all of those.
Yeah. So I said all those are.
Even onions and lettuce. Yeah.
So what kind of fertilizer?
Well,
do I need it?
I like 1959 because it's slow release and it's got a high nitrogen level. Relatively, the nitrogen source is relatively inexpensive because you can get less expensive fertilizers, but when you look at them, they're like 3% nitrogen or 4% nitrogen, and that just doesn't usually meet the needs of fast production of greens in the winter.
So, wait, did you say would the winterizer work?
Winterizer would work. Yeah.
Okay.
It will work. What my thing always is, which fertilizer you use? Well, it depends on the season and what your goal is. On the vegetables, we want to provide more nutrition once the fruit is on. So once you see the cauliflowers and Brussels sprouts and everything, you want to give them a little push and get them going. They tend to be heavy because of big leafy leaves.
Right. Yeah.
They tend to be a heavy feeder.
How close should I plant them?
Well, I plant 3 to an 8-foot row. Okay. And when they're transplants, you look at them, you say, "Gosh, I'm wasting a lot of space."
Yeah.
But within a few weeks, it's clear that you're not wasting a lot of space. They'll fill that space up.
Kevin initially had said, and plenty of space. And one of his earlier comments, and I'm like, just waiting to go. Someone asked how much space, because it is, three per 8-foot roll is what he has said over the years, and so I kind of find that rather than saying 30 inches.
Okay.
Except for spinach. Spinach, you can plant those closer together.
They can be pretty close.
So think an easy rule is think of a full-grown one, or read what a full-grown one is, and match that so that the leaves would be just barely touching. So if it says 12-inch width at maturity, so you know that you're going to have 2 feet in between. Mm-hmm. And so you have 2 plants, and so they're both going to be 12 inches, so they're just barely touching.
Yeah.
So that's always what. So what we say is plant on 2-foot centers.
Right.
That's what that means.
Center. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yay.
And at what point do you put the cheese on it? Do you do it before you pick it or after? Like, should she put cheese on it in the garden while
if she wants mas carne, she can wait a little for the caterpillars and then put the cheese on the caterpillars and then make it.
For us, Milton, you and I, who are a little bit chubby, it doesn't matter.
Just put cheese on it?
Yeah, well, just whatever. Whenever we eat it, whenever it gets on there, yeah.
And how do you prepare your Brussels sprouts?
Oh, I slice them and do it in... cut them and put them in olive oil, salt and pepper, and put them in the oven. Pull them out. Do Parmesan cheese and bacon.
See, I'm more old-fashioned. I just like them boiled.
Yeah, I like them boiled, too.
Yeah, just boiled and... it doesn't hurt for a little bit of a spice in there, but it doesn't take much to satisfy me for the Brussels sprouts. They're so good.
Oh, yeah. So I learned to like them in the South because they tend to be roasted a little bit with olive oil and maybe a little Provençal spice with a little lemon or something like that.
So did you eat, in Michigan, did you eat cabbage like that? Or did you just...
No. Cabbage is cabbage. I mean, the straightforward red or white cabbage, but for the Brussels sprouts, pretty much my mother would boil them. So I was not a big fan. I'd eat them, but I'm not a big fan. Huh. Now I came down here in the South where they're pan frying them and with a little olive oil and a little salt, a little oregano and all that kind of stuff. So
growing
up, I learned
up,
to like them a lot better.
We just steamed them when I was growing up. My grandmother cooked a lot, so steamed Brussels sprouts and a little vinegar. That was it. But it was still really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Then as I got older, became fancier.
Well, cool. Lulu, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you so
what
much
else
for
can we help
me.
you with? Anything else you can think of? Okay.
Pretty good.
Yay, thank you for your help.
The butterfly action.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Y'all take care.
You too. All right, we're going to take a quick break. While we do, you give us a call or come by and visit us at 1604 and Boulevardy Road. More of Milberger's Gardening South Texas coming up. Milton Glueck along with Dr. Calvin Finch, Mark Peterson on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. All righty, Milton Glueck along with Dr. Calvin Finch, Mark Peterson, and it looks like, I don't know his first name, but he did send us these nice pictures from Lytle, Texas. I bet you know what that is.
Yeah. That looks like your favorite plant.
Yeah.
Looks like it's out there in the desert.
Yeah, that's what he said.
There's an oxblood lily.
Yeah, and it said oxblood lily drought late bloomer, November 10th. No, I can't. That's tomorrow. It's blooming tomorrow.
We have reached.
He went into the future. Well, put your name when you send these to Milton at KLUP.com so I can know who it is. All right, but thank you. That's doing some bragging. Yeah, because normally they wait till it rains, don't they? Although we got a little rain.
And that's usually late September, early October.
And it depends on the soil, and it depends on the amount of sun too that they get. Yeah, because they're one of those plants that once they're established, they just keep growing and coming back. And a lot of mine are now under fruit trees, and so you can suddenly see the color in the shadows there, but they keep coming back.
When did we get the rain? Was that Wednesday? We got like nearly 2 inches of rain at the house.
Yeah, we got 1.5 inches.
Yeah, but what day was that?
I don't remember.
I think Al said he got rain on Monday. But I think it was Monday and maybe Wednesday.
Yeah,
I think we were supposed to get it Monday.
There you go.
And then they said more rain in the forecast when the cold front came in.
So we're all waiting for on Monday, either that Sunday night, Monday morning, and it didn't really show up, or it was spotty. And then we were wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. So I think it was a 48-hour event.
Yeah. It was a nice rain. So close your ears, Mark. Way to go, Sinisa. Thank you. That's all I'm going to say. All right, 2-0. Oh man, that you could if you could see Mark's face.
Wait a minute.
There you go. That's nice.
Mine did not even participate.
Yours didn't bloom?
Nope.
I think there were some that were kind of bloomed out. It was weird, but anyway, they sure are pretty. Whether you think they predict rain or not, they are gorgeous plants. When they're in bloom.
Yeah. I like the older ones, the dark purple.
Yeah.
Now, some people like Lynn's Legacy, and that's kind of a lighter lavender purple.
Do you?
But I like that really dark purple.
Yeah.
Darker the better.
Where do you see the best ones around town? Do you see them near downtown, or are they that traditional?
What I do, unless they've been over pruned and over managed. At certain commercial aspects, outlets. There's some like individually around town, as long as they are full sun, maybe facing south.
Yeah, they
west.
make a good specimen plant if they've got the room to spread. And
I like it pruned a little bit. Less is more.
That's one of the positive characteristics of it is that it's unusual for a native plant like that to be able to be pruned and can then bloom like it hasn't been phased.
It's pretty, I guess I can do this. I hate to say I saw it at this house at this address, but there's a pretty one. This is a public place. Over at Coker Methodist. Is it Coker Methodist along 281? Wurzbach Parkway?
It's Wurzbach Parkway.
Yeah. So, and it's pretty. You can see it from the highway. So I was like, I'm going in. And I went and took a look at it. But yeah, they are pretty.
But that's the types of places that I see them. So there is benign neglect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but not overly done. So I've seen some poor sages that have been at certain movie theaters that have just been pruned into ice sculpture, so he said. It's a little, with the great foliage, they look like a little.
There's some I've seen along the fences of neighborhood things where this is the fence that separates them from, like if you go up and down Boulevardy Road, you can see them, and they've been trimmed and hedged, but they still look nice when it blooms.
Yeah, that's what Calvin was mentioning.
Yeah.
It's unusual for a native plant species to tolerate that much pruning and still look pretty good.
Well, but I think you're right. The best look is if there's a minimal amount of pruning. Even on that hedge situation, you don't have to prune it much to have it fill. And it makes it's also a great plant for making wildlife cover for birds. It gets nice and thick, dense, good. Is not bothered much by pests in terms of a threat to the plant, but it's a good place for the birds to nest and also to seek cover and insects in there. So it's a good plant overall. And it's unpredictable, or we hope to be unpredictable. Unless you're Milton. Then.
I believe Paul Cox taught me.
I think
I am holding on to this because I learned from the legend Paul Cox, and so I'm just not letting it go.
So are you going to finish his... I understood he started a book on the...
No, he didn't.
Sinisa.
He did not, did he?
No.
That would be great. I'll help you finish it. I'll help... tell his wife I'll help him finish.
I was going to say... spoke with Michelle yesterday.
Yeah. Did she mention that?
No, she did not mention that.
Well, ask her about it.
But, we were talking about Byron and, where he works and everything. So I thought, the circle is complete. So maybe we'll work with Byron on completing the, what would we call it? The sage?
Ooh, see? You're getting into it now. we'll keep thinking. If you have a suggestion, you can email me, milton@klup.com, or call us at 210-308-8867. Yes, call us.
And what would the title for a Cenizo book all about Cenizos would be?
Let's see. I think what's the song? I think it will rain. No, is that? I think it's okay.
No.
I'm blanking. I know if I hear it.
I was trying to remember if there's. I don't remember that there's any kind of strong accounts of use of Cenizo or the plant or anything in most of the books, even the native plant books or the landscape plant books. Some great authors that you do a great job on other things, but it's not a topic and not a plant that's been.
I didn't think about that, but when you say that, it's kind of like an afterthought. So you got this great design. Let's throw in a Cenizo right here. It's always an afterthought. It's a place filler.
And
it really shouldn't be.
With the emphasis on native plants, you would expect it to get more attention. Plus all the different selections that are available. And the options in terms of a landscape feature and how you can prepare it.
We need tell me if I'm getting this right, the microburst?
Yes.
We need a microburst report. If anybody bought one and did you get one?
No, I did not get one, but you know what? I have a perfect place at the new house. So
all right.
Put it down. I've been having, what would I plant? What would I plant in this one corner? I think that may be it. Anyway, I had high hopes. I thought it was going to be the next craze to sweep San Antonio, and I kind of convinced.
It's not
a little bit.
To me, it's not an appropriate name for a.
Well, that was part of it.
Native.
So this was a Cenizo that did not exceed 30 inches, 2.5 feet.
This is a microburst?
This is microburst.
Right.
And then we found out that, it wasn't really consistent on its blooming. It was fairly irregular. It wasn't like our native one, which just seems to bloom every time it threatens to rain. Right? Did I say that correctly?
I think,
It depending before or after.
It predicts it. It predicts the rain.
Okay. So, I don't know. Trace can tell us whether he sold all of them, but
okay.
It did not sweep the city like I thought it would.
Oh, well, things take time. As soon as people see them, and if they look good, they'll start sweeping. It's funny because, with the nursery here, when you see things that are, Trace can confirm this or not, but when you see things that are starting to bloom around town, you see a lot of them start moving out the nursery. People start like things that are blooming. So
that's an old adage in the nursery industry.
Which is what?
When the plant blooms, it sells.
Okay.
So timing is everything. You could extol the virtues of a plant, but if it does not have the blooms on it, it's probably not going to sell. Quickly.
Hey, we're going to take a break in a few minutes, but I want to tell you that here next Saturday, Milberger's begins their Blue Santa Toy Drive, when you can bring a Christmas gift for a child between newborn and 12 years of age. Acceptable donations include toys, books, hygiene sets, new and used clothing. All donations must be unwrapped, no food or liquids, and to participate, you go to milbergernursery.com to find out all the details, and we'll see if we can't get somebody on the air to talk with us about it. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Calvin's going to tell you again, so don't go anywhere, about what's going on this evening. You can learn more about gardening, monarchs, milkweed, and more this evening with Dr. Calvin Finch. And we'll tell you more about that on 9:30 a.m. This is The Answer.
We're back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 930 AM The Answer.
And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Trace up on the porch with us. What's going on, Trace?
Oh, it's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. Isn't it pretty? It's still a nice breeze out of the north. It's cool. I wonder what the temperature is. Let's see if I can find out real quick. But, I didn't talk a little bit about what begins next Saturday on November 16th for Blue Santa.
So we're actually getting the box ready on Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
And so Blue Santa is where you can bring unused clothing and gifts, toys, anything that a child might like. And we're going to have a big crate where you can put it in there, and they will come and pick it up, and they will make sure a deserving child gets a gift.
Yeah, which... I've talked to a couple different. We'll have to get them on the air, but I've talked to a couple different organizations, and it's important to the kids, but it's much more important to the parents who aren't going to be able to give a gift to that child. So what they explained was the gifts go to the parents. The parents wrap them and stuff, or they get wrapped, and then the parents give them to their kiddos. So that's great.
It's a great cause.
Yeah, it is. So that starts and goes through.
Somewhere like the second week in December, I think.
It sounds about right.
I think it actually says it on the ad.
December 8th, the toy drive.
So that'll be
that'll be almost
the last day of the big weekend.
Yeah, that's true. You want to talk about the big weekend?
Sure. So we're gonna run the train from 11 to 2 for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to have chili on Saturday.
Oh, good.
Okay. What? Chili? When is this?
I knew he'd wake up.
Yeah, he was. What?
You'll be here, so don't worry about it. December 7th, I believe, is the date for that. That's the first full weekend in December.
Okay.
But I do suggest that people shop a little earlier than that for their trees.
Yeah.
They are. We're checking on dates, but those should be in a couple of weeks. And we always stand up the big ones first because those take the most time.
Okay.
And then we start getting a representation of all of the other sizes. And if I remember correctly, there's one less week.
Oh, because Thanksgiving is so late
to sell. Yeah.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is practically the last day of November.
Yeah.
It's 28th, right?
Yeah. But I didn't know exactly, but I knew it was the last week of November.
Yeah. So. And then Milberger's always participates in the community. They're a great corporate citizen. And next 2 Saturdays from next Saturday is we're going to have the eye screenings.
Yes.
It's the Lions.
So we actually have that box set up year-round.
Oh,
they
for
can
the
donate
donations?
their glasses.
Okay.
So if you've got a bunch of eyeglasses that you've stuck in a drawer and no longer your prescription, they can figure out what prescription they are, and they will relocate them to somebody who can't afford them.
Yeah, and it makes a huge difference in lives. They've told some stories, and I'm sure they will again when they're here, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. And also another amazing community organization, the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center, will be here the same day.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Milberger.
Will there be any room for plants and horticulture? All that.
Sure.
All that events.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We only take up about the same amount of room as we had for the pumpkins, just a little more for the Christmas trees. So we're still in the nursery business.
Yeah. And by the way, that you can use, Milberger's will give you a $10 gift certificate just for offering to donate blood. You could use that to then turn around and buy some of these plants we've been talking about.
You bet.
Yeah.
Or a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't, we tease about that, but you can't, the Christmas trees are unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not, it's not like the old days, Mark. Remember in the old days was you're worried about the timing, and you worried about whether the needles were going to stay on.
The most popular tree back in the day was a Scotch pine.
Right.
And so you never knew
balsam
how
fir.
No. The most of the pedestrian type was Scotch. Then
it was Douglas.
Yeah.
Unsheared Douglas.
Yeah. Then we went up to Noble and Balsam. Well, Balsam and then Noble is the recent one.
We still have Noble.
Yeah. Yep. And Fraser. Fraser is the number one tree as far as selling wise, but we will have Nordmans.
Yeah, and tell people about that.
If you have allergies to real Christmas trees, unlikely that the Nordman will affect you.
Yeah.
Real Christmas trees.
It's probably premature to talk about this, but it's always just a great addition to the Christmas tree effort is that they're always recycled. An important part
of the holiday
of Milberger's operation and an important part of the community environmental situation.
And we do get them all ground up, and they will be used on our bald and burlap area. So I don't want to say you can come visit your Christmas tree, but technically, I guess you could.
Come visit your Christmas tree.
Yeah. And so, and we don't bring up the fact there's, besides the great selection of trees, there is something special about the Christmas trees that you get at Milberger's too, in that they're in a.
So we already, when they come in, we start standing them, we give them the fresh cut, and we put them in water. So as fast as we can, we get them all stood so that they can start taking up water immediately.
Yep. And so, and that stand that you get can make them look great, even if you get them for Thanksgiving.
So I always remember those old stands where you had to put the little screws in. You could never get the tree to stand straight.
And they always,
it was a medical process.
If you had pets, they were always a problem. Maybe, I guess some people thought of it as entertaining, but...
You never saw it that way?
No, cleaning up messes and knocking trees over that you spent all this time decorating, and then the presents underneath.
Well, this will be the first year with our puppy, so...
that tomato-eating puppy?
No.
That one, too, yeah.
No, that one, too? Okay.
Yeah, listen.
We have one old one and one...
The old one is teaching the new one how to eat the tomatoes? Okay.
If you need some advice on training that dog so it's more disciplined like my West Highland Terriers, you just let me know.
It's impossible until it's 2 years old.
Oh, okay. I'll have to believe you.
This is according to my wife.
Oh, okay. Well, she was in the pet industry.
So we're watching the dates. So almost 2 years from now, we will have a good dog, according to her.
Okay.
Probably still eat tomatoes, though.
Probably. It's especially if it's food driven. But so that's kind of the scoop, and you can follow along at milbergernursery.com and learn more about all of that. All right, Trace is getting called away. 210-308-8867 is our number. And Calvin, real quick, we're talking about events. You have an event tonight.
I do at 6 p.m. at the SAC building. Help me, Mark, on the Sinkin.
Yeah, it's officially William Sinkin Eco Central, but I always called him Bill. So Bill Sinkin Eco Central, right across the street on Main, right across the street from SAC.
Yeah, very close, San Pedro. That's 6 p.m. And everybody that attends and agrees to monitor some milkweed plants will receive some, and then we'll expect them to note when they germinate, if they're the non-germinating seeded selection, or if they're growing already, which some of them will be. Then we'll want the results on transplanting, how that went. And so that's tonight at 6 p.m. at the Sinkin Eco Central building over there at the San Antonio College, right there close to San Pedro on Main. And the address, I believe, is 1805?
Yeah. Oh, no, 02.
1802.
1802 Main Avenue. So we'll see you there, and we'll talk a lot about this migration, monarch migration, and we'll talk about
lack thereof.
Yeah.
Yes.
And say why maybe it wasn't as big.
Yeah. We're trying to do.
Or we're just delayed.
The goal is to gather information that makes it more likely that the monarchs are going to be successful in their migrating and their breeding, and part of that is we have to get a better grasp on which of the native milkweeds to grow and how to grow them, and how to bring them to the attention of the monarchs.
And from a homeowner standpoint, talk a little bit. We'll get away from just for a second of this idea of we're helping them and we're helping them kind of still. Why would I want butterfly plants in my yard?
Well,
I know it's obvious, but
no, it's not obvious.
It's not obvious. Okay, good.
In terms of. Are you thinking of in terms of a landscape feature?
No, I'm thinking about in terms of when you hear people who do, like Lulu was talking about, or other people like the guy. We've had the people that send us videos, and it brings them a great deal of pleasure to have a butterfly area in their yard.
They're very attractive, but it's an environmental challenge, and it's amazing how many gardeners want to participate in it, and it's also great that they know how important it is for them to participate, and it's an opportunity. I think they're marked that there's a potential, and a lot of us recognize that there's a real potential for us to have a major impact on the monarch population, and especially the migration of monarchs.
We spent many, many decades trying to get rid of those nasty milkweeds.
Yeah, but
and now we're trying to do everything we can to impact the monarch population by providing those milkweeds and nectar flowers. Never forget the nectar.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, the nectar flowers are beautiful plants. And they're, as Mark mentioned, they're just as important as the milkweeds. We don't. I should probably mention that more often, that the milkweeds are the only place that the monarchs will lay their eggs and raise caterpillars.
There's an important
That's
line.
why we need them.
Hey, James, I'm going to try to find your picture. I'm having trouble, but let's get started with just answering your question. Maybe we can do it without the picture because I'm not seeing it. 210-308-8867. Hi, James. Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Yeah, the photo I sent you earlier, the oxblood lily.
That was you. Oh.
Yes. As soon as I hit the send button, I realized I don't think I put the right date on there. So I went and tried to look at the calendar when my wife called me. Lo and behold, I was actually 2 days early or late, I guess early. Because I got 1.1 inches of rain, when was it? I guess Wednesday, Tuesday night, whatever it was. And I saw that blood lily yesterday morning. So 2 days after the rain, it finally woke up. But what's peculiar about that little area, oxblood lily, you see how bare it is around there, or if you remember.
Yeah.
It's,
your phone connection's
really,
much better now.
Yeah, it's been really dry this year. My pasture, except for I've been watering my trees. So, but that one particular spot where I sent you the photo, I don't know if you recall, about a few years back, I took you, Calvin, and Dr. Parsons a bucket full of bulbs.
Oh.
And that is the same spot I dug those bulbs from. And just peculiar about it, they have not bloomed since I dug those bulbs, so I've been worried all these years that I dug them all up. Dr. Parsons assured me there was no way possible, and he was correct. This is the first time they have bloomed since then. That's probably been about 3-4 years ago, I guess. So. And
Calvin says the same thing basically with his when he brought me some too. I planted the ones you gave me. I don't know why they weren't happy, but James, I don't know. But
they'll come.
Yeah, maybe someday they'll come back. But, yeah, I was kind of going, well, should I, worry about them and do this? And Calvin is like, no, because it sounds like at some point you just have oxblood lilies, even if you don't want oxblood lilies anymore.
That's right. They've got a mind of their own. And that's part of, it's a little bit the same way as we talked about our Senecio, too. Yeah, they've got a place in this world and in nature, and they're going to insist on filling it.
You sure are pretty, though.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That would look great out there on that section, James, that you have, if you could get some rain lilies to grow there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, funny you should say that, because during the break I walked to the front where I planted some other oxblood lilies at the same time I planted those around the mesquite tree, and they are coming up, I guess with the rain, but they have not bloomed yet.
Yeah.
And when I was walking out there are rain lilies blooming all over the pasture.
Oh, cool.
That's good.
Well, what was thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing those a while back. That was very nice of you. But you had a question, too, on saffron?
Saffron plum. Okay, I had this discussion with y'all, I guess it was last year, maybe year before.
We don't
remember. A plant on my property, which I thought was coma, and that's kind of was debatable. So I've done a little more research. Is it possible that they are saffron plum? Do they grow in this area? My area, I should say.
Your area, yes. So my book of choice was from the Texas Parks and Wildlife. It was trees and shrubs of the Southwest, or South Texas, rather. Now, last week we had a listener call in. She had another book from Texas Tech, and I think it was Shrubs and Vine of the Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
It was Beth.
Yeah.
Beth.
So, and so she reminded me of a lot of plants down your area and towards Brackettville and Del Rio. And so, that's one of the ones that's frequently found in your area, so it could be. I'm stalling because I'm trying to think of another one. Not wolfberry.
Oh, it's a Ladybird Johnson wildflower. It's featured on their website.
Yeah. It could very well be. We're talking about a drupe, about a size bigger than a grape, bigger than a blush fruit, dark purple eventually.
Yes, I really want to try the fruit. They're all gone now due to the birds. Yeah. But I really want to try the fruit, but I'm hesitant because I hear there's a similar plant that the fruit is toxic. So,
all those fruits are toxic if you eat, 40 of them. So, so there's another one called hog plum. Do you know hog plum?
No, sir, I do not.
They're all kind of similar, and that's why I'm having a little confusion in my mind. Trace just came up and gave me a look like that's not unusual.
That's why you're heavy.
I heard confusion, and it was like.
So there's a lot of those in South Texas, all pretty much the same. Ruby blush size and larger to maybe a golf ball size fruit, and they tend to be dark purple to almost black.
Yeah. Well, maybe next spring. If it was the toxic one, if I ate one, it's not going to do me in, is it?
No, you might have a cleansing, and that's all I'll say.
Well, just in case, do we have your address?
Oh. Yeah, can we get on the property to get any more of the red?
The lilies?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, thank you,
I'll
sir.
Next spring when I think they're ripe, and then we'll do a taste test on the air.
Right.
Yeah. Also, send Milton a picture of said plant.
Oh yeah, would you?
And then I can look at it a little bit further.
Okay.
I re-gifted my favorite book on South Texas shrubs, brush. And now I got to go get another one, plus the one that Beth mentioned. I have to go pick one up.
Okay, the one that Beth mentioned, I went online right when she was talking about it. I found it at used bookstore online, and I got the original publication. There was a second printing, and they're both in my remote mailbox right now. I need to go pick them up.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
One was $6 and one was like $8, so it wasn't bad. Yeah,
almost free.
Yeah, so sounds like you got a good deal. Is that with shipping, or you got to pay shipping too?
Well, if it was over $20 or $25, it was free shipping. So I got a third book, unrelated.
Man, what's the third book kind of about? Is it about like a gardening mystery or?
It's about mammals of Central Texas. Animals, different animals. Yes.
Oh, cool. All righty. Well, congratulations, sir.
Squirrels.
Sounds like you got a good one. Yeah, we want you to give us reports from the book.
All right, will do.
Okay, we got to take a quick break, and we'll come back in a second.
Bye, James.
And talk to the other James, another James, about stuff after this on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Going to get back to our listeners in just a second, answer their questions. But I'm going to answer your question about how to make Thanksgiving absolutely easy and delicious this year. And that's Edmund Pruski of Pruski's Market. We were talking turkey here, and Edmund was talking to me yesterday. We'll talk to him tomorrow, hopefully. But he was talking about they took some of the smoked turkeys out of the smoker, and they looked absolutely gorgeous as he was telling me about it. So if you want turkey, all the trim-ins, if you want to just pick it up and go, then Pruski's is the place to go for the best tasting turkey you've had. They have ham, they have beef, obviously. They're in beef country.
Why would you pick any of those when you could get Swedish sausage?
Yeah, Calvin. I don't know, but we did have it last week. Did you try it?
Oh, wow.
Wasn't that good?
I ate it all.
Good.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, I brought the guys some sausage from Pruski's last week, and the Swedish was good. The potato sausage was very, very good. But they've got that. They've got the jalapeno and cheese and much, much more. And
did I distract you, Milton?
Yes, a little bit. So if you're looking for great tasting food, great tasting meats, if you're looking for a great tasting Thanksgiving or Christmas, Pruski's Market, give them a call, and they'll help you out there. You'll find the number on their website, pruskismeatmarket.com, or 210-899-3853, 210-899-3853. You'll be happy you did. You'll be happy when you visit them at pruskismeatmarket.com, or just visit them in person. Even better, on Highway 87 between 1604 and 410. We have James on the line real quick, and then we'll talk to Lulu after that, I think. James, what's going on in your world? How can we help you?
Hey, I started some sweet alyssum in September, October, and it's getting up towards transplant size. And I was wondering, can I put them in azalea trays, or do they need a 1 gallon pot?
Well, they do better in 1 gallon.
Yeah.
Okay. I will put them in ones then. How much sunlight do they need, and how cold does it need to get to freeze them down to the ground?
Well, they do best in full sun. I was trying to think of. Yeah, I don't know if they're one of those that we identify as having much shade tolerance. But they're not overly cold sensitive.
Right. I was just gonna say. I was trying to remember back. I go, wow, how cold can they go? I mean, they can go pretty cold.
Yeah, I would guess that they could probably handle 25 or 26 degrees. Famous last words.
Yeah. But also I was trying to do it in numbers that we could go we always go 32, 29, 26. We have kind of groups of numbers, so to say. So I would say 26.
And they'll be okay. I wanted to pot up 10 or 20 or whatever, and put them in the hoop house with the tomatoes in the spring to support my beneficials. So
Absolutely.
they'd make it in the hoop house, right?
Oh yeah.
And is there a whole bunch of foliage diseases I got to worry about, or are they pretty bulletproof plant?
I don't know what pests would be on them. No, I don't. There's no spider mites I ever heard of, or white flies, or things that you normally would expect in a little shelter area.
Yeah, so. I think the most threatening would be drying out or sogginess.
Yeah. One is to dry or wet feet.
Okay, let them dry out a little bit to half an inch or an inch between watering, but also then water them thoroughly when you do water them.
Yeah, I just wanted to line them up in the alleyway down the hoop house, one on each side.
That'll look good. And also be fragrant.
That's where I keep my lettuce. The winter lettuce that I overwinter, I keep it on each side of the alleyway down the hoop house. So I guess those plants can all get along pretty well.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds like it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, James.
Later.
All right. 210-308-8867. And Lulu, did you have another question? Come on up. Grab that microphone. Okay.
Quick question. Can I still plant my bluebonnet and poppy seeds?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a great question.
So I was going to
ask that, too.
Yeah, I was going to start the show with that as well. It's November. It's coming in the middle of November. November is wildflower time. So, yes, please.
So can we mention for folks that are thinking about, they probably got their seed in the drawer, and it's good that you brought that up so that they get it out. But they need to plant that in a manner that the seed makes contact with the soil, not with organic material or not buried. Little bit of soil doesn't hurt them, but not buried. And full sun is usually, with those plants that you mentioned, full sun. There's a few, some of the seeds in the mixes have some shade tolerance, but they usually find their way. Coccinia and some of the others find their way.
So the companies, Wildflower and Native American Seed and Douglas King, they tried to make some what I call shade tolerant mixes, and I that's what I do. I smile, but those are few and far between of the components on that. The vast majority of our flowers, our wildflowers, have to be in full sun. But this is the time to do it.
So I shouldn't pre-soak or anything like that. I can just put them down.
Just put them down.
Yeah.
But that's one of the few advantages of this droughty open soil that we've had, is the wildflowers. Makes it easy to plant the wildflowers. There's no organic material in the way, and easy to make soil contact, and it's full sun, and so it works. Even Milton can get it.
Milton can do it. Hey, Lulu, remember what we used to do for the kids? We used to make the seed balls. Remember with clay?
Mm-hmm.
Usually we get them too big. So they need to be like marble size, rather than golf ball size. Yeah. So you just get some clayish soil, or soil with lots of clay in it. How about that? And then get a nice mix, and then roll, and then see what that does, Milton. And it's supposed to decay over time, and so allows the seed to go on top as the seed ball decays.
Yeah.
And the rainwater washes it out.
Well, great.
Okay.
Great.
Idea, theoretically.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, guys. Really
cool.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I forgot about that, though. I need to get a packet of seeds of the bluebonnet seeds. And I think,
I don't know. I think Calvin was absolutely right. I had a laugh because he said, it may be in a drawer. Yeah, we usually get these seed packets early in the spring.
Well, we're going to get calls in January, February, March. Is it too late to plant our bluebonnets? Yeah.
And we may get transplants, but I don't know if they're here yet.
Oh, yes, they're here.
They're here?
Yes, yes. That's why I started thinking, can I still put my seeds down? I still got some transplants, and I have little baby ones in the ground right now that are sprouting.
Really? Already?
Yeah, I was pulling weeds today, and I'm like, what is that? Oh, my gosh, it's a bluebonnet.
Cool.
So, yeah, they're beginning to...
We'll have to check, Milt.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed any.
Yeah, we'll look, maybe open up.
I think they're over.
Yeah.
They're over there by the horse.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Lulu.
Thank you, Lulu.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you, Mark, for the horse impression. 210-308-8867 is our number. Got some good calls, lots of good visitors. So come on by and visit with us or give us a call, 210-308-8867.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
Yeah, the wildflowers. I am, too, because I was going to ask that as well. It's like...
Yeah, I was going to bring it up, and then I forgot all about it. So Thank you, Lulu.
Yeah. All right. Well, what else should folks be doing in the garden? We don't have. Normally we have Trace's training, but he's out working.
Well, speaking of bluebonnets,
yes,
we have a lot of newcomers here in San Antonio. Bluebonnets are unusual in that they have seeds, but they go through a two-step process. They produce a little rosette in the ground before they start blooming. So we're also, all of us are looking at the butterfly.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was a monarch.
Okay.
I think it was a little
teeny one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
It was too dark.
That looked like a male queen.
Yeah. I was going to say, all I know is, I leave that to Calvin, but all I know is, no, it wasn't the right coloration. But anyway, so bluebonnets, it's a 2-year process. Yeah. That's it.
All right. Oh, Calvin tried to catch it.
So that's don't if you don't see anything, you say you planted some bluebonnet seeds, and you go, they didn't produce any flowers. Don't worry about it.
Well,
it's a 2-year process.
Let's remind everybody too that one of the best things to do is get one of those mixes, Central Texas mix or Oklahoma and Texas mix, and then you plant it according to the instructions, so you get that soil to seed contact, and you get it in full sun, and then you'll get, if you got a lot of different seed in there, you'll always have some seed that's going to be successful, depending on even when it's dry or when it's wet. And it's really kind of interesting. Some years you'll give a different seed that'll show up. Coreopsis will dominate.
You may have 20, and you go 1 year, only 10 of that 20 that's in there go up, and you go, oh, that's amazing. And then the next year, the other 10 will show up. So it's very interesting on how that works.
Well, and then the dominance sometimes changes too. If you get you have good years with Coreopsis, then it'll eventually be a pretty dominating plant. Bluebonnets quite often are challenged. It's an unusual good soil for them if they become a kind of dominant. Some places they survive pretty well and are pretty showy, but they don't usually take over.
Hey, Milton. You want to know what bluebonnets are called? They're lupines.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
They're beans, or they're not beans?
They're wolf. Lupus.
They're beans? They're wolves?
The old timers thought, bluebonnets were bad because they were on the most poor soil.
Oh, huh.
Well, they are actually in the pea family.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's they take nitrogen from the air and put it into the soil, so they're actually very good. But for a long time, farmers and ranchers would try to kill the blue vines.
Oh, really? Wow.
So no, we don't do that anymore.
No.
But that's where the term lupine came from.
That's interesting. I'll have to go walk by there. But I was thinking, to get a just packet of seeds and have some fun. And those are just soil contact, right? I'm not burying those.
No, that's you're not burying them or not planting them.
You can, if you have the urge. There's some gardeners that it's hard to resist, but you can prepare the soil a little bit. Just rake it a little bit, or just break it loose a little bit. That contributes to maybe a higher germination rate, but it's not really necessary. It's not what happens in nature.
Yeah.
We're blessed by having three great companies in this area. So Native American Seed in Junction, Wildflower up in Johnson City, and Douglas King here in San Antonio. And
those seed companies also are cooperate with us on the milkweeds.
Yeah, on the milkweeds. They're good partners. All right, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867, the number to call. Let's take a quick break and be back in a moment. Yes, sir. Did you?
Well, those grackles, the way they sweep in.
Yeah.
It's like this is their possession here, too. Gosh. Don't get in their way.
All right. Okay, back in a moment with more of Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867, the number to call to be a part of the show. It's absolutely gorgeous here at Milberger's today. We're just kind of sitting on the porch watching the butterflies fly, watching them flutter, and watching the grackles.
Including the latest monarch.
The latest? Oh, yeah, we did see a monarch.
The Certified Butterfly Garden has had monarchs off and on, and they've laid a lot of eggs, and a lot of caterpillars have been raised there. So if you want to see what Certified Butterfly Garden looks like, this is a good place to do it here at Milberger's. And quite often Mary will be able to point out the monarch caterpillars as they feed on the milkweeds. She's got about 3 or 4 different kinds of milkweeds in there.
So let's see. Okay, so we got about a few minutes left. Nobody on the line. Oh, Tripp is on the line at 210-308-8867. Tripp
from the Metroplex, I believe.
Okay. Do you know Tripp?
No, I think he calls on a regular basis.
Okay. Hi, Tripp. What's going on?
Hey, so I called you like 4 weeks ago and gave you the monarch. And told you that the monarch showed up. And so it was about 2 weeks later, I came out here in the milkweeds, and there were 3 caterpillars on it, which was a good sign. I was real happy about it. And then we got that storm, on Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, and then I came back out here, and I didn't see them, so one of them was on my jalapeno plant, and another one was over on the ground, so I put both of them back into the milkweeds, and then I went back out the next morning, and they're gone. So, are there still going to be a migration, or we past that?
Now, you're sure they're monarchs? They had the 3 antenna sets of antenna. They do a pretty fast. Once they sit there for a couple days. Were they full size? Were they large caterpillars?
Yeah, they were about an inch long. Oh,
gosh,
they have the black stripes on them, and
well, they could have been. Hopefully, they were in that stage of their development where they stopped feeding, and they just settle in for a day or two, and then they quickly do their chrysalis, and then they're, you don't see them. They do a good job, but quite often, always amazes me that like we've seen 23 here, and then the next day they're all, maybe we can find 3 chrysalis, but they do a good job of hiding, and then 30 days later they generally have matured and hatch, and they're butterflies. So they could have survived and they could have made it, but you're probably right. If you had 3 of them, you probably had 1 or 2 that got caught up in the weather you described.
Yeah, that's a bad thing because the wind was really high here, and I ended up finding 2 of them. One was on my jalapeno plant, and the other one was laying down in the raised bed, and I put them back on where they were because I grew these milkweeds from seed. Yeah. And they loved it. I mean, they were chewing it all up.
Yeah. You know that they will quite often also, once they've reached that size where they're ready to do the chrysalis, they quite often will pick another plant, like your pepper plant is not unusual for them to, or even on containers, on the back or underside of a container, sometimes it's amazing that they'll find a place where there really is quite hidden. So they could have been at that point, or of course the weather could have just dislodged them.
Right. Okay. Well, I was just waiting to see if there was any more. So I did have another sighting of a monarch over by the rim by 1604 and I-10 a week ago. So there's a few floating around.
Yeah, that's right. We just saw one here, too. And then we also are starting to get reports that they're finally moving from the north. And we don't know if that indicates that we'll see any kind of evidence of a major migration. They may, but hopefully we'll see some.
Yeah, I have this weird bug that's on my milkweeds, and he's about as long as a thumbnail, and he's orangey red on the bottom, and then he's got an antenna, and he's got wings. He's got like a little diamond shape on the top of him. So I hope he didn't, There's like 2 or 3 on my milkweeds. I don't know what kind of bug this is.
Well, let's see. We call them the box elder bug,
or there's
milkweed bug.
Yeah, and there's a whole host of is it Hominiptera or Hymenoptera or something like that.
Yeah.
But assassin beetle, there's another one with a little orange on the bottom.
But they're that closely related to the box elder bug is one that you quite often will see on the milkweed.
Or sometimes we don't know the name of it, but we call it the Texas mountain laurel box elder bug or something. I have no idea what the species on that, but we see that we call it's that mountain laurel bug.
Yeah, and they're usually not much of a threat. They don't reduce the foliage much, and we just kind of ignore them.
So the red berry that's on top of the milkweeds, is that the seed?
The red berries on top of the milkweed.
I don't think I've never seen red berries.
No, is it? Which milkweed is it?
Well, the flowers, they close up and they look like a little, they look like a little berry.
Are you talking about tropical milkweed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them. They do that.
This tropical milkweed, the seeds are all kinds of fluff and just seed. Looks like a dandelion
seed. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, those happened like about 3 months ago, and I saved some of them. That's how I grew this other plant that they like so much.
Yeah. So I'll bet you just got new blooms.
Yeah, I do. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe about 12 blooms that are on these plants right now.
Yeah, that'll be good if you get some migrating monarchs coming through.
Well, I just got through fertilizing them, so hopefully by then maybe some more come through. But that's so far my sighting.
Well, I'm thinking of it as a nectar source rather than as a nesting source at this point.
Right. Well, hopefully, because that's a long trip for them to make.
Sounds good. Thank you for the report.
Yeah, thank you, Drew.
Okay. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Thanks, man. All right, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. What else is going on, guys? Got about 4 minutes left. Calvin, talk one more time about your event, but whatever you're pointing at.
Well, I was pointing at Mary was in the midst of of those bougainvillea trees, and it looked like an exotic painting or something there. It was very cool. Nice weather and beautiful flowers. Okay, we're speaking of beautiful flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we hardly ever think of milkweeds as having beautiful flowers, but the tropical milkweed flowers are pretty nice. We're going to have a class tonight. This will be the last class of the season on the monarch and milkweed effort. It'll be at 6 o'clock at the SAC environmental building over there on 1085 Main.
1802 Main. Is that right?
Main and Locust.
1802.
Yeah, 1802, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what you said.
Well, I have it right here. Yes.
Oh, it says that? Okay.
It's 1802. You're right. Main Avenue. And
I could also say it that way.
That's the... and that if you want to reserve a spot there, give us a quick call, 210-382-4455. Individuals that participate and are willing to monitor some milkweed seed, we'll give you some containers seeded, some of them germinated plants and some of them seeded, and we'll ask you to report on what kind of luck you've had transplanting, or what has happened in terms of the germination when they germinate. And the idea was we'll talk about the monarchs, the migration. We'll also talk about the milkweeds that are native to this area, what we've learned on how to grow them, and what we need, the questions that are still unanswered. And so we're hoping that you'll be part of that effort to gather those answers so that we can increase the chances that the monarchs are going to continue to be successful in raising their young and even participating in that migration that occurs. So, what's the name of that building again? I can never remember that. The Eco Central.
William Sinkin Eco Central.
1802 Main Avenue, and that's at the San Antonio Area College at 6 p.m. tonight. It's unusual for us to be having a program in the evening, but it's co-sponsored by our friends at the Gardening Volunteers of South Texas.
Yep.
210-382-4455. We have plenty of seats available, so we'll welcome you. And we'll probably be done about 7:30 tonight.
All right, cool. So we got about a minute left, and we're going to be back. So we'll hear about it tomorrow, how it went, won't we?
Yes, you will.
Yeah, that'll be cool. But it'll be different because of the time and all the stuff. So I'll be curious to see how it is. But this is the last one of the season, right?
That's right. We've done them for 3 years now, and we've learned a lot, but there's still a lot of questions to the answer.
And maybe tomorrow, because I don't think we have enough time to do it justice if we talk about it. You mentioned Bill Sinkin.
Yeah.
You can tell us who Bill Sinkin, who it's named after.
Great Bill Sinkin?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Man of many talents, and really, really, really assisted San Antonio in many, many ways.
Yep. So we'll brag on him a little bit tomorrow. All right. We will say goodbye for today, but you join us next time tomorrow, and back at noon to 2, back here at Milburgers. So come by and visit with us. I'm Milton Glueck. Mark Peterson, sorry.
You're getting as bad as me now.
I know. I forgot my name. All right. See you tomorrow on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Bye.